No, I just... What the hell? You literally just turned into a man. You were a frickin' animal. It takes all kinds. You'll get used to it. Ashley started to rotate Brady's phone in his hand. How'd you even get the phone? Oh, I'm really quite sneaky. You don't know the half of it. Ashley unlocked the phone and scrolled through the last several messages between him and Brady. The plans they had made to meet here, this clearing deep within Blackwood Forest that had become their place over the last few weeks. It was beautiful. There always seemed to be a mist hanging over Silk River, like a descended cloud, and private. Now it seemed as though this particular text conversation hadn't been with Brady, but with Chach. But why? Ashley pored over the conversation as though the answers were embedded in Chach's text and the emojis were syllabics that would divulge secrets. But the emoji didn't give anything away. The bulk of them were obviously meaningless, like the smiling pile of poop Brady responded with when Ashley was too busy to meet because of homework. Ashley stuffed the phone into his pocket. Why'd you bring me out here? Chach put his arm around Ashley. Look around, Ash. Very cool setting, am I wrong? Imagine starting things out in the grocery store, surrounded by overpriced fruits and veggies. Not this beauty before us. No, why all the trouble to bring me out here? It wasn't too much of a bother, really. Don't you go and worry about little old me. For what? And why me? Bingo! There it is, the $7 million question. I've been totally dying to tell you, but you were far too freaked out. See? You get used to it, right? Just tell me why I'm here, okay? So I can leave. Well, you're no fun. Fine. I want you to ask Cole Harper to come back home. If you will, please. Ashley stood up. What? No way. Yes way. If you know anything about Cole and why he doesn't live here anymore, and you clearly don't, you know asking me to do that is weirder than a goddamn talking coyote. Weirder than a goddamn talking coyote transforming into a goddamn human being? To demonstrate, Chach transformed into a coyote, then back into a man. Yeah, kind of. Still, Chach said, I'd like you to convince, because ask probably isn't the right word, knowing the boy. And I do know the boy, dear people. Mr. Harper to come back home where he belongs. Pretty please? Sorry, there's no way Cole is coming home. And I wouldn't ask him to anyway. Chach made a sound. Well, that's really too bad. You're the only person here who talks to the kid. Ashley shook his head. Cole's just some messed up guy who's dealt with a lot of shit. Leave him alone. Can I go now? Oh, tell me what you really think. Chach slapped his hands against his knees and stood up. Okay, well, this has been a slice. I feel like we should hug it out. Are you serious? Chach closed his eyes, extended his arms, and nodded sharply. At this point, Ashley was willing to do anything to get this over with, except ask Cole to come home. He leaned forward and let Chach gather him up into his arms and give him a squeeze around his waist. Chach smelled like he'd shoved about 50 lavender-scented air fresheners into his suit pockets. They backed away from each other, awkwardly. There we are, Chach said. Now, like I said, a slice. Nice to meet you. Sorry about all the, deception and whatnot. Had to give it a shot, right? Right, Ashley said, and turned to leave, intent on going directly to Brady's house to tell him all about. Nuh-uh, Chach said. Our secret. I insist. Ashley shrugged and fast-walked out of the clearing, not willing to argue and wondering if it would do any good anyway. Brady believed in this kind of shit, in theory. But would he really buy that a coyote had just tricked his boyfriend into meeting by Silk River? Hell, with each step Ashley took, he was questioning whether or not he'd actually seen what he had. He must have. He didn't drink, didn't do drugs, and had never hallucinated anything before, let alone a character from the myths and